Hi guys, Paul Bourne here from Subluma.co.uk, and today I want to talk about a tool which I use all the time when I'm designing a logo for my clients called the Shape Builder tool within Adobe Illustrator. Now, whether you've drawn an idea out on graph paper and you want to bring that idea into Adobe Illustrator, or you've been given an image within the design brief by the client which they also want to incorporate into the logo. So this tool is going to give you the capabilities to create a unique icon when you're sending over concepts to the client and ultimately designing a logo for them. So I'm going to get straight into it. I'm going to show you the techniques and the process which I use, and I hope that you can take those ideas and use it for your own projects moving forward. So let's get to it. So this is the shape which we're going to build here of this bird, and I'm going to show you how we actually create that from scratch. So if you had an image from the client, from the design brief, or you've drawn something up, you basically export that into Illustrator and try to find the edges of that particular icon, and then create a vector shape from there which you can then use into your logo. Here on the top left, I've pulled off some circles using the golden ratio technique. I'm not going to go into the golden ratio technique here, but feel free to have a look at some of our other videos, and basically I go through how we create the golden ratio technique. You can also create these circles manually, so finding the edges of this bird to then use the Shape Builder tool to create that vector image. So on the left hand side here you'll see the Shape Builder tool, which is you can also get to it by pressing Shift and M, but we would use this tool after we've created the outlines which we're going to then build. So from here, if you look at these circles, we would basically pump that into the circle, into the center, because we're going to be using that to actually find the edges of the image. Very quickly, I'll go and I'll use that to go through creating those outlines. If you zoom in, you can get it a little bit more finer detail, again using the same shape to actually find the edges of that one and that one. As you're moving it down, some of them may be slightly bigger, so if you have a look on that top left one, it's a little bit bigger than the other ones, so that's how we would find the outside of the main outline of that bird. But I'm not going to go into that fine detail. You get the idea of how that works. So if we switch that off and that on, that's me already pre-populated those shapes. So once you get into that into sort of that area of works, and you've basically completed all of the outlines, you've found every single outline, this is where we'll then use the Shape Builder tool. So if we zoom in a little bit here, we'll be able to see this in action. So if you select the Shift and M, or if you hover over the Shape Builder tool there on your left hand side, you can see which one it is. Select that tool, and then we need to highlight all of those. We need to highlight all of those outlines here, and then as you hover over it there, you can see what is going to be connected using that tool there. So first things first, we're going to highlight everything. And then if you see here, you can basically just connect those two shapes together to create one full icon or shape. Again, continue to go around connecting those shapes. If you press Alt and hover over a shape, you can basically remove it or add it. So you can basically take that shape away and make it hollow and transparent, or you can build the shape by just pressing it. So again, go through the next and you can just continue to build that shape or the wings there. Again, go around all these, and then you get the idea of that, of how that works in total. So once you build that, if you obviously take all of that away, or if you press Alt, you can basically get rid of all of those unwanted shapes there, and the same as you go around here, and the same there, and the same there, and then what you're left with is one final illustration of what you want to to build. So there, if I put on the outlines only, you can see what shape we are building, and you can go a little bit more finer details in these little edges here, but again, I won't go too much into it. I'll leave you go into the finer detail of this whole illustration here. So from there, we're going to look at our final result. So this is one obviously we've created now, and you can change that to whatever colour you want. Again, the sky's the limit with that. I'll leave that down to you to play around with. But yeah, that's ultimately how we would create that icon or logo, which you are then going to use for the end product. Right guys, thanks very much for tuning into this tutorial. I hope that you can take something away from it and really elevate your own projects moving forward. Feel free to drop me a comment in the comment box and I'll answer any questions, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Over the next coming weeks and months, I'm going to be going through other areas of the design process, covering things like negative space, the pen tool, cutting tools, and quite importantly the typography and the selection of that typeface when creating a strong logo. So again, thanks very much for tuning in, and look out for more videos in the coming future. Take care guys.